Amanda here, and today we're talking about a new foundation from the drugstore. This one's from Maybelline. It's the Dream Radiant Liquid Hydrating Foundation. I purchased this when it was available for pre-order from Amazon. I paid $10.99 for it. It just arrived a few days ago, and I've been wearing this every single day since it arrived. So I have a lot of thoughts on this. I can tell you about wear time and all kinds of good stuff. First, let's just get down to the basics. I think right now this is only available from Amazon. I imagine that it will eventually roll out to the other retailers that sell Maybelline products, so drugstores like CVS, Walgreens, and Ulta. This foundation only comes in 20 shades, and the shade range isn't fantastic. I'll show you a picture of it over here. It's not the worst I've seen, but it's definitely not as good as it could be, especially when their competitors have stepped up their game so much. Like CoverGirl's Matte Made foundation comes in 40 shades. I'm hoping that if the initial release gets enough attention that they will expand their shade range. Even I had a difficult time finding my correct shade. This one is just a little bit too dark for me, which you'll see in the demo portion. I was able to make it work, but if I'm having trouble finding my perfect shade, that kind of says a lot, because I'm basically like the target audience of every brand, drugstore or not. I have like fair to light skin with a generally neutral undertone. I can lean a little bit warm, especially when I'm tan. I chose the shade 20 Classic Ivory just because it has that neutral undertone, and it is just a hair too dark for me. In the summer, this would be perfect for me. I've already faded off all of my summer color. This I could make work, so I'm not upset about the shade that I chose. If I had gone lighter, it probably would have been too light and too pink. But my biggest criticism of this foundation, I'm just going to put it out there up front, is the shade range is really lacking. I mean, if I have trouble, I can only imagine. I have dry skin and I'm in my mid-30s, so whenever I hear words like glowy, radiant, hydrating, I am on board. This says radiant and hydrating, plus it has hyaluronic acid and collagen. It says that it will give you 12 hours of continuous hydration. It also claims to be a medium coverage with a radiant finish. Totally agree with that. I want to go ahead and show you my application demo, and then I'll give you all of my thoughts on this foundation at the end. Like I said, I've been wearing this for a few days, so I feel like I have a fully formed opinion. I wanted to start off with a close-up of just my clean, bare skin. There is no product, not even primer. This is what I look like before application. Now we're going to go in with shade 20. This is Classic Ivory of the Maybelline Dream Radiant Foundation. I am going to use 2 full pumps of this foundation, mainly because this is just a teeny tiny bit too dark. So I want to make sure when I apply this foundation that I go all the way down my neck. That way I get a nice even color once all of my makeup is blended in and finished. I don't want to have a really tan looking face and then a weirdly white neck, so I am using a little bit extra foundation to cover the neck area. I blended this in really quickly and easily using a flat top kabuki brush. I've also applied this with a sponge, but I just find this way so quick and so easy, and I do get a really nice coverage when I blend with the brush. Here's a close-up of my skin with just the foundation on. This is no concealer, no powder, nothing like that, just up close and personal with my skin wearing this foundation. I do think it looks really nice, very radiant, very glowy. This shows just enough of my natural skin, my freckles, my texture, that it looks very natural. In my opinion, it's just a good evening out, and it also adds that radiance and that hydration. So I do find this to be quite natural, even though it is also very glowy. Now here's a side-by-side shot of my before, my bare skin with just the foundation. That way you can really compare the two and see what this looks like, what the coverage is like, And I also wanted to show you really close up with my finished makeup. Now I did add, of course, blush, bronzer, highlighter, concealer, obviously eyeshadow and things like that. But I didn't powder my full face. I just added a little concealer and then powdered my concealer. But what you're seeing on my cheeks here, this is not powdered down foundation. I just put my bronzer, blush, and highlighter right on top. This foundation does dry down enough that you don't have to powder it before you apply other things on top. And as you can see, it is staying really glowy. This is a couple hours later. I did film this makeup look for another video. So I've been wearing this for a few hours. You know, it does get caught up a little bit in those wrinkles on my forehead, but hey, I'm 34, like wrinkles happen, you know. Every foundation does that for me, and I'm really happy with how this one looks. I've tested this foundation in a few different scenarios, just regular everyday wear, of course. I also wore this to a party. We had a Friendsgiving party and I was wearing this foundation. So that was sort of beyond the everyday wear and tear that my foundation would normally get. I was eating, drinking, talking, going in and outside. It is quite cold here now, so I have no idea how this would hold up in warm weather because this stays dewy. This stayed looking super radiant. I was glowing for hours, but I will say I'm really impressed that this stayed so dewy looking, but it did not break up in any of my problem areas. Typically, if I'm wearing something that's too dewy, it will start to break up after a while, especially like in the middle of my forehead and kind of around the nose and mouth area. This didn't do that at all. This stayed put for me. I don't have to powder this down, although when the warmer months roll around, I probably will powder this. It looks super skin-like. It doesn't look dry, cakey, flaky. It's not bunching up around my nostrils, which is a huge problem for me. If I use anything medium coverage or higher, I just get it stuck all around my nose. I know that sounds gross, but this is real life, okay? We have to talk about these things when we're reviewing. I want to rave about this and tell you how much I love it because it looks so good. It looks so beautiful on my skin. The coverage is just right. It looks natural. It feels lightweight. It's super comfortable, but the shade range sucks. I'm so sad. I want to love this. I really like it, but I can't love it until there are more shades. There need to be at least 10 more shades. I would love to see this shade range double from 20 to 40. The price is right. The packaging's great. It's a glass bottle. It has a pump. It's just everything I want it to be, except there's not enough shades of it. That's seriously my biggest gripe. I said at the beginning of this video that that was going to be my only complaint, and that's literally my only complaint. Otherwise, formula is flawless. Beautiful. With a sponge, with a brush. Ugh! Why Maybelline? This is like the L'Oreal Pro Glow all over again. Because I love that foundation so much, but there's not enough shades of it. I think that one only has like 14 shades or something ridiculous like that. I know a lot of people think that if something doesn't have a good enough shade range that we just shouldn't talk about it at all. And I totally understand that perspective, but for me, if I have a platform to call attention to this and say, hey, this really is a great product, this really needs to be offered to more people, then maybe we can kind of get the ball rolling on that. I'm not saying I'm going to single-handedly affect change, but every one of us has a platform simply just by existing in this world, and if we can speak up about the things that we think need to be changed, then, you know, that's really the best place to start. So that's where I'm starting. Maybelline, hear our cries. Let's all go tweet Maybelline and tell them they need to double their shade range because this product is so good. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about this foundation. Is this something that you think will work for your skin type? I definitely only recommend this for normal to dry skin. Probably not going to be loving this if you have oily skin. Is this on your radar? If it is, do they even make your shade? I'm really interested in having this conversation and hearing your thoughts about these things. Please leave a comment with your thoughts down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Maybe I should. Almost forgot to do a thumbnail. A true professional, folks. Even after hours and hours of wear, see, once I wear blue eyeshadow, it just throws me off. Anyway, that's a tangent, sorry. This lip gloss has like no color, but it is really comfy. Are you impressed that I'm wearing this like purpley blue eyeshadow? Because you should be. Personally, I'm impressed with myself, so I need you to be impressed with me as well. What a surprise, a YouTuber seeking validation. So original. Okay, anyway. That's fine. Okay. Just continuing being awkward. Just gonna do it somewhere else now. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm gonna go. I gotta go. Okay. Bye.